When you're in a relationship, especially in the early stages, everything feels exciting, doesn't it? The connection seems intense and the attention from your partner feels like a dream. But what if I told you that all this affection, all this attention, could be part of something more manipulative, something called love bombing? It's an experience many of us have had at least once, and it can be hard to spot, especially when you're caught up in the thrill of it all. But here's the thing, love bombing is a tactic used by some, even Sigmas, to draw you in with overwhelming affection, and you might not even realize you're falling for it until it's too late. In this video, we're going to unpack love bombing and help you recognize the signs of it so you don't get trapped. As we go through the red flags, you'll begin to realize that you might have experienced this before. And more importantly, you'll learn how to protect yourself from falling for it again. So let's dive in and start uncovering the truth behind love bombing. You've probably felt that rush of emotions when someone new comes into your life, and everything seems perfect. They shower you with compliments, gifts, and their time, making you feel like you're the only person in the world. It feels great, doesn't it? But here's where things start to get tricky, because in a healthy relationship, affection and attention are given gradually, as both people get to know each other. But in love bombing, it's intense and immediate. This overwhelming affection is often a tactic to manipulate your feelings. They want to pull you in fast and strong, and they want you to feel special, because when you're hooked, they'll have control. The love bomber creates an illusion of a perfect relationship, one that moves too quickly, and that's one of the first signs you need to watch for. If things feel rushed, if they're telling you they love you after only a short time, or if they're constantly making promises for the future, this could be love bombing in action. Another red flag to watch out for is how they handle your boundaries. Now, when you're in the early stages of a relationship, it's normal to be excited and eager to connect, but a love bomber won't respect your personal space or boundaries. They'll want to know everything about you, and they'll do whatever it takes to be in your life at all times. They might send constant texts, call you all the time, and demand your attention, making you feel guilty if you try to take some time for yourself. They will make you feel like you owe them your time, your energy, and your emotional availability, which is not okay. Healthy relationships are about balance, where both partners respect each other's boundaries, but love bombers cross these lines and make you feel responsible for their emotional needs. It's important to pay attention to how you feel when they do this. Do you feel like you're losing yourself? Do you feel guilty for needing space? These are signs that your boundaries aren't being respected. Now let's talk about the emotional highs and lows that often come with love bombing. One of the most confusing things about love bombing is the emotional roller coaster it creates. You might experience days filled with affection, compliments, and intense connection, but then without warning, the love bomber might pull back, become distant, or give you the silent treatment. This push and pull dynamic creates confusion and anxiety, and it leaves you questioning what's real and what's not. You might find yourself constantly trying to win their approval, trying to get back to the high points of the relationship. Because you crave that attention, you're left wondering if you've done something wrong, if they're pulling away because of you, or if maybe you're just not good enough. This emotional instability is a huge red flag, because it's a manipulation tactic designed to keep you off balance and to make you feel dependent on them for emotional validation. The next red flag to watch for is how they react when you don't immediately reciprocate their feelings. When you first start dating someone, it's natural to want to take things slowly and get to know each other. But love bombers don't give you that space. They want you to feel just as strongly, just as quickly as they do. If you don't immediately return their affection, or if you take a step back to process things, they might react with anger, frustration, or even guilt tripping. They might say things like, "I thought you cared about me," or "I've never been treated like this before." This pressure can make you feel like you have to give in to their emotional needs, and that's a tactic to manipulate you into moving faster than you're comfortable with. A healthy partner will understand if you need time to process your emotions and will respect your pace, but a love bomber won't. Another crucial thing to notice is how they react when you talk about the future. In a healthy relationship, discussions about the future happen naturally over time. But with a love bomber, they'll bring up these topics right away. They might talk about moving in together, getting married, or even having children, all within the first few weeks or months. They paint a picture of a future that seems perfect and set in stone. And this can create a false sense of security, making you believe that this person is your soulmate. The rush to make future plans is a classic love bombing move, because they want to lock you in emotionally before you've even had the chance to fully understand who they really are. Pay attention to how they talk about the future. If they're already planning your entire life together before you've even had the chance to establish trust in a healthy foundation, this is a major red flag. They're trying to manipulate your perception of the relationship. And it's important to recognize this before you get swept away by their promises. As you continue to interact with a love bomber, you may notice that their actions don't match their words. They might say things like, "I would never hurt you," or "I only want the best for you." But their behavior tells a different story. They might be excessively jealous, controlling, or manipulative, which contradicts the loving persona they've created for themselves. This disconnect between words and actions is another key sign that something's off. And it's important to trust your instincts. If you start to notice that their words don't match up with their actions, this could be a warning sign that they're using love bombing to cover up their true intentions. Now, let's talk about the aftermath of love bombing. Because love bombing is such an intense experience, once it fades, you might be left feeling confused, hurt, or even betrayed. When the love bomber pulls back and stops giving you all that attention and affection, you might feel like you've been abandoned or neglected. They've already got what they wanted, your emotional investment, and now they've moved on. This sudden withdrawal of affection can leave you feeling emotionally drained, and it's a tactic used to keep you hooked and dependent. If you notice this pattern in your relationship, where the love bomber is hot and cold, always keeping you on edge, then it's time to step back and reevaluate the situation. Love bombing can feel flattering at first, but it's important to recognize it for what it is, a manipulation tactic that's designed to make you emotionally dependent on someone. If you're in a relationship where love bombing is taking place, it's crucial to recognize the red flags early on. Trust your gut and protect yourself from falling into the trap, because you deserve a relationship where affection is genuine and love is built on trust, respect, and healthy communication. So, if you spot love bombing in your relationship, don't ignore the signs. Take a step back and ask yourself if this is really the kind of relationship you want to be in. Remember, you deserve to be treated with love, kindness, and respect, not as someone to be manipulated for someone else's gain. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because you will learn tons of information in the next video. Stay tuned.